Hello everyone. Today I'm going to share with you an ancient remedy, Redmond clay. This is volcanic ash, and it's an ancient healing medicine, natural remedy. See that cut on my thumb here, on the back of my thumb? If I put this Redmond clay, if I mix it into like a paste where it's like toothpaste consistency, and I'll show you that in a moment, and I put it on a waterproof Band-Aid, right? These are the Band-Aids, my favorite Band-Aids for using this, because you put a little bit of the clay in the middle. First, what I do is I wet the Band-Aid. I wet it, this part, not the outside, because if I put the clay in here like it is, this Band-Aid will absorb and pull the water out of the clay, and the clay will dry up. That can happen. So I touch water on here with my finger. I'll touch the water and then touch it on here like this until this is wet. It doesn't have to be soaking wet, just a little bit wet, and that way it won't pull the moisture out of the clay, right? So then I put the clay in here, and then what I'm going to use it for is not this. That's just me scratching myself because I didn't file my nails properly. You see, I have a bruise here on my arm. Let me show you. It's just a small one, and this will go away by itself. See this? That will go away by itself if I just leave it, but it's been there for like days and days and days. I think a week or something. And what that was is like, think my gear from riding my electric unicycle. You could look up EUC, electric unicycle. I'm riding the Lynx. You can get those from Next Gen Mobility or eWheels or many other places. Alien Rides also sells them with some kind of warranty that protects the whole unit if you want that. But it's a monthly fee for that extra warranty. Anyway, I bought my Lynx from Next Gen Mobility, which I highly recommend. And you can save a lot of money by buying it from there. Now, going back to the Band-Aid, now what is this good for? This clay, some people mix this in their smoothies. Some people put it on their skin. It helps cuts heal really fast, like a paper cut or a cut. Now, if you just had surgery, I don't think you want to use this right away. You want to let the skin heal and close up, and then you have to wait a while till the skin gets strong until you use this. But this can help make scarring go away too. It'll make the skin look completely normal. That's with the body, but I don't know about like face. I'm not sure if you can use this on your face. You can use it for a mask, but if you're going to close it off, like seal it like waterproof for healing, I'm not sure about that. So double check that, do your research on that. Now, what has changed over the years? This used to say on the back, I don't think this one says it, but it used to say, look, this is from Grassroots Natural Market and Kitchen in South Pasadena. They're no longer here. This used to say, look, it says, clay has been used for generations to help support digestive health. See, people put it in their smoothies for thousands of years. See this, what this says? I have to save this because it doesn't say this anymore. The same clay, this same clay, nothing's changed. Okay, Redmond clay or Bentonite clay. Now the label says something different. Over the years, it's changed. It said less and less and less on the label of what this does. And that has to do with laws and what can be said about things, right? But since that, let's go ahead and read this. For thousands of years, primitive people carried a ball of clay with them in their packs. Some of this clay was dissolved in water and ingested with their meals. Clay was the natural medicine used by the natives for fighting many stomach ailments, dysentery, and food infections. For external use, mix the clay with water to make a gel about the consistency of mustard. The gel can be applied externally as a poultice on cuts, bruises, insect bites, bee stings, boils, rashes, acne. Oh, okay, so you can use it on your face. And burns. It can also be used as a facial. Now I often see it just saying it's a facial and nothing else. But it's the same clay, right? This statement has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Now, I'm not sure, but it seems like when they did evaluate it, I'm not sure though, double check this. It seems like it's possible that that's when everything had to be taken off about the history of what this has been used for. So I use this quite often. What's not said on here is it helps reduce pain on the body. Like if you have an area that hurts really bad, that's like an injury, You can put this clay on the skin, keep it moist. It has to be kept, it also works for burns, really, really well for burns. But again, you can't let it dry out. You have to mix it with water. And then on a burn especially, you don't want the clay to become dry. That's really, really bad. You have to keep it wet and moist, and you can change the bandage and wash the clay off like once or twice a day every 24 hours. But double check this. There's videos on YouTube with doctors and people talking about this. But I'm going to, hopefully the camera doesn't turn off when I'm trying to connect this to the mount. I'm going to show you how I do this, what I do with this. Apologies, it's so messy here. So what I do is, and read up on this, this is really something good to use, okay? Now, like I said, not many people care about a bruise, but I'm just showing what it's going to do is it's going to make that bruise go away extremely fast. Like that bruise may take weeks to go away by itself. What they say about this clay is it pulls the pain out and it helps things heal rapidly when you put it on there, but it has to be kept wet. Okay, if it's dry, it doesn't, I don't think it does anything. So it has to be kept wet, and therefore some people wrap their like, let's say you have a injury here. Not broken skin, like if the skin's ripped open, that's different. You might need stitches or something. I don't think you want to use that then if there's a cut. I mean, if it's like deep, right? If it's a surface cut, like a scratch and it bled, but it's a scratch, but it's not all the way through, I think then you can use it. So find out when you can use it and when you can't use it, okay? Look into that. But you have to find people that are using it, not people that say, like if someone says it doesn't do anything, don't use it. That's not going to help you. You have to find people that are actually using it and have used it, and how they're using it, right? How they've used it. That's important. I always say I study how things work, not how they don't work, because you can endlessly learn that anything doesn't work. Remember how they always said the helicopter violates the laws of physics, and then eventually they figured out how it flies because they said the wings give? Still doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it sounds convincing the way it's written, but how does a helicopter fly? Okay, and how does a bumblebee fly if it's too heavy to lift its weight? Is it generating a frequency that's actually causing the anti-gravity, which is actually neutralizing it's not anti-gravity, it's neutralizing the Earth's gravitational forces by generating a frequency of certain amounts, right? Like what did Nikola Tesla say? Nikola Tesla said, if you want to understand the universe, think frequency, vibration, and energy. And I think of those as three different events, right? Because I could think of energy as frequency and vibration, and I could think of frequency as energy, and they all seem like they could be interchanged, right? But if we look at those as three different events, so right now I just mixed a little bit of water. So first I put the water, then I added the clay, right? And I always make too much clay, but today I might have, for the first time, made just the right amount. So see how little there is right here? And see the consistency of it? It's kind of like a toothpaste. So I just used a Q-tip to do this. Now, did I accidentally get water in this? I think I did. That's not good because it won't stick if I got water on it. Okay, so first of all, I mean on the sticky part. So I'm gonna wet the part of the Band-Aid that is in the center here. I'm gonna wet this part like this. See what I'm doing? But I'm not wetting the sticky part because then it won't stick, right? Now, if I don't wet this, especially on a larger Band-Aid like this, what I noticed happens is that material will pull the moisture, it'll pull the water out of the clay, and then the clay just hardens, and then it's not doing anything. It's not doing as much or anything, nearly anything, comparatively speaking, compared to what it can do if the clay is wet and kept wet, okay? Now this is sealed from the air, right? It's sealed. So what's it doing? What's the clay doing when I have it on my arm? Now I tend to leave, because when I first started using this, let me see if I can show the camera. So there's the bruise that I have, and this bruise is nothing. It doesn't hurt or anything. But you know, some people want to learn about healing themselves, so I'm going to put this on over the bruise, right? I'm going to push the sides down first, and then push these two sides down. And then I'm going to trace around, try to get that to seal good. What I should have done is wash the skin around here first with soap and water to make sure there's no oil on my skin so it sticks really, really well. Because like I said, we want to keep the clay wet. And ideally it'll still be wet when you take the Band-Aid off, whether that be at a 12-hour interval, a 24-hour interval, or I've sometimes left Band-Aid on for a couple days. You have to be really careful, and that's not recommended because skin can break easily when it's kept wet that long. So I'm saying, like, I'm just telling you what I've done, but it's not ideal. Ideally, you're going to change this once or twice a day with letting it air out for like an hour each time you take the Band-Aid off and clean it and start and mix new clay and use a new Band-Aid. So now that I did that, right, if someone has a bruise, they want to get rid of it real quick, this is one way you can do it, okay? Now, the other way to do it simultaneously, or instead of this, I've noticed, is if you eat lots of vegetables. There's a documentary called, there's a movie documentary called Game Changers, and it's a man that teaches what's it called? Special forces in the military. He's such a high level, like, trainer and fighter, just everything. I mean, this guy is really something. And he found that by eating vegetables, you can, the body heals extremely fast, okay? And I've heard this before from nutritionists that studied this kind of material, which is just to say studied a lot about. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put a Band-Aid on the back of this little scratch here on my hand as well. This little, where I scratched myself because I didn't file my nails. My nails get really sharp really fast, and I just have to file them. I don't know if it's every day or every other day. And no, I don't drink milk. I haven't drank milk hardly ever. I drink, what's it called? Oat milk. That's my favorite milk. Oat milk. It's from oats. Okay, what are we going to do right now? Right now, so this is available on Amazon. You can buy this on Amazon. So right now I'm going to mix a little bit more. This happens a lot where I make some and then I'm like, oh, I need to make more. So here's the Band-Aids I use because they're a really good waterproof Band-Aid. And you can get the variety pack. They also make a larger one than this. It's like 100 pack, I think. And that's an ideal one to buy. These are available, like, sometimes buy them at Target or Amazon. Okay, so for the small one, they also come in the variety pack. It comes with these really small ones. I don't know if you can tell how small that is. So I'll use this really tiny one, and it's really important not to allow the clay or your fingers to touch the sticky part of the Band-Aid, or it just won't stick at all. It just won't stick to you, right? So my hands are clean right now. And so what I'm going to do now, because this area is so small and I still want to wet that area, right, is I'm going to just touch water on there with this Q-tip and try to get this, yeah, so I can see it changing color right now. It's changing color. So that means there's water there now. So now when I put the clay there, it won't dry up and turn into like a little rock. Because this clay dries like a rock, right? It's clay. When it dries, it's like a rock essentially. Now I always make too much of this one because this Band-Aid is so small. And it can be hard to get it just right. I don't know if you can see me mixing this, yeah. So I'll just use a little bit of this. I'm not going to use everything I just made. I have to be very careful to only get it on the center part. Okay, so now I'm gonna, this is just what I do. I roll this here, I reuse this. I don't want to, I don't need to throw that Q-tip away. Now if I get it too wet, it will just bend and burn, like it won't work again. So I've gotten better at doing this over time. Now, what are we going to do with this one? One question I have is to myself is, did I put too much clay on it? It looks like I may have. I'm going to take a little bit off. Actually, what I'll do is I'll rub it right on the cut. So you see that little cut? It's a scratch. But scratches can hurt, right? And scratches can get infected. That's another thing, right? If someone has diabetes or something, and I don't know about using this with if you have diabetes. I don't know about that. You have to check into that. I would imagine that it should be okay still, because this is like a, I don't know. It's a healing. It's nature's medicine, right? It's one of the medicines. I grew up with the understanding that nature makes cures for everything. I'm not calling this a cure for anything. I'm just saying that I grew up learning that nature makes a cure. There's something for everything, right? And you see the pharmaceutical companies studying and researching, if you read articles on it, it's studying and trying to replicate those natural medicines, right? So it shows you right there, there's some significance to this, to what's going on in the world with medicine, if they're replicating in order to mass produce something, right? In order to market it, because I don't know if you can sell a tree, right? But if you change it or you manufacture the whatever it is that does the healing or helps the body, then I guess you can package it, right? Anyway, confirm all that for yourself. Anyway, so now this, which was hurting every time I touch it a little bit, it was just irritating. Now that's covered, and that will heal. So I'll leave this on. I'll probably leave this on for 12 to 24 hours. Then I'll look at it, let it air out for like an hour, and if I want to, I can do it again. I could repeat that. So there you have it. Redmond clay, bentonite clay. This is the particular one that I've been using. It's called Redmond clay. It's the one I always use, but I think bentonite clay is the same thing. I think it is the same clay. It's the same. It's volcanic ash, and I read that it has like over 50 different minerals in it. And I think that's just food. It's like skin food, or it's food for the body. Like it's literally what the body, I think, needs to accelerate its healing, how it heals, right? So also with vegetables, I think that's how vegetables work with healing the body. For the body healing itself, right? You're equipping the body to heal itself. Watch that documentary. They don't mention Redmond clay in it, but watch the documentary. It was on Netflix. It's called Game Changers. And it's about like power lifters and fighters and these guys that are vegetarians now, or mostly a plant-based diet, and they're just like, it's a game changer. Like it's unimaginable. Like there was this meat eater guy saying, I'm gonna beat this guy up in a boxing match, and it seemed believable. And then the vegetarian comes over and just wipes him out, and what happened was the vegetarian could just totally outlast the meat eater. Person that ate meat. And there's all this research backing this all up. Watch the documentary to learn more about that. Okay, everyone, True Zero Emissions signing off. And True Zero Emissions is about living in a world where we can breathe clean air, optimize the conditions in the environment for health, for life health, and let's see if we can commute and lower that number of 35,000 to 45,000 deaths every year just in the United States of America. Related to automobile accidents, right? And 3.3 million serious injuries where people don't die, but they're really, really hurt for life every single year in the United States of America alone. Maybe micromobility can be a part of the solution of that, because we're not driving around in these really heavy, several thousand-pound automobiles that when they hit, it's just a disaster, right? Like it just hurts people. No matter how many crumple zones you have, no matter how many airbags you have, and the numbers have been consistently been really, really high every single year, right? 35,000 to 45,000 for the past half of century, right? For the past 5 decades. How do we have healthy and long lives, right? Okay, everyone, see you in the next video. Bye.